right, ladies and gentlemen, this is C.Ruff, and I'm back with another episode of Timeout Sports Podcast. Today we got a very special Ram in the building. William Hayes played football at Winston-Salem State and then went on to have and do great things in the NFL. William, I appreciate you for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm solid. Thank you for allowing me to come on.
Absolutely. So we're going to take it all the way back. We're going to talk about, we know what you ended up becoming, but how did you even get introduced to the game of football?
My dad was the driving force behind it. I thought I was going to be a basketball player, but didn't have the height. So he was my football coach starting out. Hell of a dude, you know what I'm saying? He passed away about 4 or 5 months ago. Just a solid dude, and he just created something in me, man. I wasn't aggressive, and I remember just the first lesson he ever taught me is, if you can just get up after every hit, you'll be fine. So my brother was about 130 pounds solid. I was about 90 pounds, and he let my brother stand up and laid me on my back, and he said, go. And I had to get up and tackle him, and he just ran me over the whole night. And that was my first lesson that, you fall, you get back up. You stand solid.
Absolutely. So this is your older brother, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, you said...
Yeah, that's how I got invited to football, introduced to football. And from that standpoint, it was just like I couldn't be broke.
Right. And it takes a certain level of toughness to play the game of football. A lot of people, and I'm glad you mentioned that, it's a lot of people that talk about NBA players thinking that they could have played football, NFL players thinking that they could have played in the NBA. Talk a little bit about the kind of mindset you do have to be an NFL player. And do you believe that notion that so many of those people could have trickled over and played the other sport professionally?
It's hard to say. You do got, I think, like from a tight end position, those guys are like, super athletic. So, and they take their craft serious. So with the right practice, I think anything is possible. You got Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, some of the arguably the greatest tight ends in football was basketball players. But from the standpoint of you think you're going to come out there and get that physical contact, it's real. Because you got to wake up every single day with inflammation in your body. I mean, you don't take a day off. Like, it's not a such thing as, I feel good today. Like, those days don't list. So you got to take yourself to a place to where most people can't push themselves to. That's the real. Most people physically or mentally weak and they can't go through it.
Understand that for sure.
Yeah, it's like a military. They break you and then build you up. But it's a real life, especially before that new CBA. That old CBA was real. It was real. I'm talking about 2 padded practices, cutting, anything you can imagine, brawling, Hunger Games, everybody trying to eat, you know what I mean? Because, it's going to be 120 guys there, and it's the survival of the fittest. Only 60 people going to make it.
Yeah.
It's real. Like, no, never let nobody, people be like, man, I could have been where you was at. I'm like, nah, you couldn't. Nah. Because you physically, mentally can't break. And the guys who mentally and got that mental weakness, they last a year or two. That's why the lifespan, 1.5 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go down the line. But so now we're going to talk about you being a young guy, getting into football. Did you have a team growing up?
Oh, I was a San Fran and Eagles fan.
San Fran and Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So the young you would be happy about what's getting ready to happen in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Are you still an Eagles fan or no?
Nah,
you don't
not
care
really.
about no team?
Man, I don't really watch football.
Okay.
I'm a businessman now, so that was just a part of my journey.
Right.
I respect the sport. I respect the craft that goes along with it. But nah, I probably wouldn't watch the Super Bowl, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it I want to watch either because I'm a Commanders fan and they're not going to be there.
Crazy thing is, when I first started, I looked at a couple of games this year. I was surprised they was in the NFC Championship game. I didn't even know they even made the playoffs because I always thought they was trash. But I respect the quarterback, man. He might be the next one up.
Yeah, Jaden's got it, man.
Yeah.
Because when you look at our roster, and this is a conversation I had with a friend of mine, a mentor named Leck. Our roster was not an elite roster. I don't think we have a top 10 roster in football.
No,
this
I think
year.
y'all have a very good roster. I just didn't. My perception of them from the years past, I put them on the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they got a roster. Like I'm not even gonna disrespect them. They actually got like a really, really, really good team. They just a player or two away.
Yeah. You can that's what a lot of people did with us, but like I said, that quarterback position is important. Once you get that, you have something to build with. And I think we had some with RG3, but he got hurt so quick.
He was special.
Yeah, RG3 had it, man.
Oh, he was. Listen, I tell anybody, he threw one of the best deep balls I've ever seen in my life. I seen him like his rookie year go off on us. Like he was. I mean, that's a bad boy. 70 yards off the back leg.
So what was the strategy playing a guy like RG3? Because
it ain't no strategy. It was between him, Kaepernick, and all them. Like we weren't used to zone reads. That happened early. You know what I mean? Like it's more prevalent now, but like that legit came about 2012, 2013. Like that's when that zone read came. It wasn't as prevalent. You got quarterbacks who's running. Now 4.5s, 4.4s. You know what I mean? It changed the game up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a different era, man, and athletes crazy. It always has been, but like you said, the speed is even more up there now.
Oh yeah, so you got defensive ends running 4.4s now. You know,
we're gonna talk about something special that you were able to do some years ago as we continue to go down the line. But let's now talk about High Point. That's where you grew up at. I assume, born and raised.
Yeah.
What does High Point mean to you, and how was it when you were growing up there?
High Point was special to me, and it still is. That's why I live there. That's home. I grew up what you would consider probably the hood, and it put all those good roots in me that the hard work and don't matter where you at as long as you got love is real. You know what I'm saying? Like we grew up probably poor, but I never felt poor, not a day in my life. Most people can't say that. Like I grew up with a mom and dad who gave us the most love you could ever imagine. So we grew up poor, but I grew up probably one of the happiest kids in the world, and I still exemplify that joy every single day I wake up. That's my main goal, just let everybody see the joy in William Hayes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it gave me those roots, you know what I mean? But High Point is family. High Point believes in my vision right now with my business. High Point supports me in everything I do. I love High Point.
Yeah. So you talk about those roots, you talk about your upbringing, that toughness that you were given by your parents. We know that being due to what you were able to accomplish, being an NFL player, your children didn't grow up the same way as you.
No.
Not financially. But what have you been able to do and strive to do to teach them those same roots, teach them that same toughness, teach them that, you're not better than anybody else based off of your financial status? How is it as a father?
You just give them the bare essentials. I might dress up and maybe wear a little name brand, but my kids, they don't know no difference between Temu and Gucci. I'm just being honest with you. So it's just like keeping them level-headed, We feed the homeless. We go out and we serve our community, you know what I mean? So they got that in them, you know what I mean? It's hard-pressed if we ever come up to a light and somebody stand there with a sign. One of my kids is going to yell, somebody give them some money. They'll start looking for money to give, you know what I mean? So it's just always having that giving spirit and loving spirit, you know what I mean? So it's not about, I done been happy with money and I done been happy without money. So my kids, I just want them to have joy. That's it. Like, I don't never want them to value anything. You know what I mean? And that's where I stand at. So it's like the way I live, the way I present myself, it rubs off on my kids. So I don't necessarily have to teach them anything because I'm the example. They look at me.
Gotcha. Next up, we're going to talk. How did you get to Winston-Salem State? What was that like? Being a great football player, looking at your options, college. well, what am I going to do next? Where am I going to go that could give me the best chance? Because I assume that your goal was the NFL. Everybody's goal is not who ended up playing, but what's your goal to NFL?
My goal was to get a job and make me some good money.
Okay.
Though, like when I graduated high school with a 1.68, so I couldn't even get in Winston-Salem State. You know, I went to a school called Barber Scotia, and I stayed there for a year. And the intention was to stay there 2 years and potentially go off and find a school somewhere I could possibly play football. I stayed there a year and came to Winston the next year. When I was at my senior year of high school, I legit went from being 5'9", 5'10" as a junior in high school, and over the summer, in 3 months, I grew 4 inches. I went from 5'10" to 6'4". So, I got one of them stories to where it's like I had a legit grow up in over a summer, and I probably went from running 5'2" to 4'5", you know. So I came from being probably one of the worst guys on the football team because I never started in middle school or high school other than my senior year to being probably the best guy on our football team. Well, no question. But I ain't had the grace to go along with it. So I couldn't even get into DeVry or GTCC. So, you know, I went to a little school that seemed like they was letting everybody in, and after I came there, I just knew my grades wouldn't never be an issue with why I couldn't, you know, play sports or do what I want to do.
Right. What would you credit in, you talk about your improvement in such a small frame of time, you shot up in height, but your game also evolved. What would you credit to that?
God. Yeah, it was all God. Because he put a spirit in me. I got embarrassed one time. I remember being in wood shop, and that's where all the football players was at. And the coach, Aldine Payne, was like, I remember him saying, hey, you know, we got all these guys coming back. You know, this is our senior year. We just lost in the playoffs, and he was naming the juniors we got coming back. And I was so sorry. My nickname was Seabreeze. To this day, nobody at my school called me William Hayes. It's Seabreeze. And he was like, we got Seabreeze coming back. And everybody and their mama just started dying laughing. What are he going to do? That joker ain't played since middle school. I was in fifth quarter. I don't know if you remember that in middle school. That's when the sorry people go in before the game. You know what I mean? They let you get a quarter and then the real game happen. You know what I mean? So I was like, that'll never be me again. And they woke up a demon in me. No, they didn't wake up a demon. They woke up that my Holy Spirit came alive. And my whole life changed since then. Every single day I wake up with that same mentality. Yeah, I never feel like that again. I grind every single day I wake up.
Have to. I feel that strongly every day in my life, you know, trying to get to where I want to be. It's a battle, but you got to
see the vision.
Have to see the vision.
You got to see the vision.
You got to be the only one to see it. Everybody can't worry about your family.
Listen, let me tell you something. I remember being at that football field one day. I played around too much. I ain't going to lie to you, out there on 17 State football field. I love this man. I love him. To this day, I credit him being one of those guys that even pushed me even further. You know what I'm saying? I credit him, my coach. When I tell you, I'm going to say Keith Gator. I love Keith Gator to death. Because when I tell you I know he didn't mean it, it was just that extra kick I needed. I played around too much. You know what I'm saying? I got suspended from school, expelled out of school before the Howard game, just on the strength of I wasn't even going to class. Or you got to get kicked out of class. We done overbooked it. So now I got 9 hours. I'm in the paper now. I travel all the way down to Howard. You can't play. Dennis Felder. Hey, come on, man. You can't play. You done for the season. I had a coach come back and tell me, hey, man, I found you an overnight class that where you could take, you know, to get back eligible. I got back eligible, right? This joker, Keith Gator, looked at me in my face. He said, hey, this will be the last time you ever play football if you don't get yourself together. And it woke me up. I can honestly say nobody ever outworked me that ever came through this school. You could put up your greatest. Ain't not one man ever worked me. Real talk. There was that vision became even a reality. Your vision has to be your reality every single day. And that's why people fail. People get out, people let somebody create that reality for them. Your reality can't never change. It's your vision. You got to live and die by it. It's so many dead people in the damn grave right now, they vision ain't never come to life, dog. And that wasn't going to be me. You hear me? I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
It's about you got to live with purpose. Hey, man, you know how many times I went out when I was at 17th State? I'm talking about a club, a damn, what you call it, what homecoming?
Right.
You know how many times I went out?
None.
Not one time. I can't tell you what Pancho Villa looked like in the inside. I can't tell you what a house party, a jam.
You ain't had no barn experiences?
I ain't never have an HBCU experience. I had a vision. That's the difference, though. You go to what's called? You go to I had a dude named Jackie Clark took me to Florida State. Man, that's a business there. That's a business. And as people, that's what we got to go to. You got to come here with that vision. You can't get off of it. You got to stay locked in on this shit 24/7. Your vision has become who you are. Real talk.
So would you say you have any regrets about that, being locked in like that?
No.
You would do it the same way again?
What? Man, I've been able to do the things that people dreamed of. Whatever, man. I got freedom. I wake up every single day and I say, what, like chase your passion. Nah, it's a sacrifice, man. That's what people don't realize. It's called delayed gratification. I must suffer now so I can be superior later.
Yeah.
That's real talk, dog.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
People right now, people in this world, they want instant gratification. That shit ain't real.
And if it is, if you're getting something now, you're gonna pay for it later.
If you get something now, if you ain't worked to get it, you ain't gonna appreciate it.
Right.
That's what happened. It's an appreciation what I did. Being honest, April Reed was just telling me, "Hey, I need you to go over here by this dorm or go over." Man, I don't know these dorms. I can't even I can't name the dorms. I could name Brown. I stayed there for a semester, and then I had my own place. Like that's how locked in I was. You ain't never seen a freshman come in and like, man, listen, like I came in get myself right. I'm moving off the campus as a freshman.
Yeah.
I made Dean's List every year I was in college. And I had a 1.6, graduated high school.
What would you credit for you being able to flip the switch like that?
Huh? Now, hey, somebody who put that battery in my back too was Dennis Felder. I give him all the credit when I was here. That man, he hated me, but he loved me even more. That's real talk. He knew my vision. He knew it. Like Dennis Felder one time got so mad at me because in front of the meeting he was like asking me what I was gonna do. I was like, I'm gonna be a football player. What's your back? I ain't got no backup plan. That man made me go stand in front of that clock tower with a letter on the front of my shirt. I ain't nothing but a football player for a whole day. Ask him if you think I'm lying. I missed Dennis Felder class one time. I never missed a class. Dennis Felder told me one time I missed this class I was sick, but I went to football practice. This man drove all the way up to Bowie. Where's Bowie in Baltimore?
I think so, yeah.
He drove all the way up to Baltimore before kickoff, tried to pull me out the football field. Think I'm lying. Just so they had a whole class. Should I let William Hayes play in the football game? People came to me, hey, Dr. Felder said you ain't playing this week. Man, Dr. Felder got me bent. I'm getting up out of here. Right before kickoff, Dr. Felder pulled up. Come out there screaming, he ain't playing. Get him off the football field. Hey, Doc, we'll take care of him. We're gonna penalize him. He gonna suffer for it what he did. But boy, playing.
Yeah. They needed you.
Dr. Felder respected me, dog. He listen. If you go ask him, do he respect William Hayes? He'll let you know that ground was real to what I was putting in. But nah, that's just who I was. That's what created me, dog. Dennis Felder was the one who said, hey, listen, you could be whatever you want to be.
You hear a lot of times about people doing things they shouldn't be doing. It seems like they don't have nobody in their circle to tell them right from wrong. And it seems like Dr. Felder was that person that told you what you needed to hear, not what you wanted to.
My vision told me what I should be doing and what shouldn't be doing.
Right. Okay.
You know, that was my vision.
Yeah. Tunnel vision.
Yeah, my vision told me, hey, listen, man, if you drink, you're going to be dehydrated.
Yeah.
I ain't have my first drink until my 4th year in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, people ain't gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. I was locked in. I couldn't even fathom like going home and telling my mom, like, you know, I was the one retiring my mom. Hey, listen, you ain't going back to work. You go wherever I go. Chill home. You good. Right. My mom ain't worked since then. You know what I'm saying? I seen my mom have to legit. My dad was having strokes and heart attacks when I was a kid, man. I seen my mom hold a whole house down, working at K&W cafeteria, dog. Nah, my mom, you ain't got to work. I got us. I got us. My family, I got us.
Yeah. That's every man's goal, especially their mom. You know, so I'm working every day to get there.
That's it. And you're going to get there. Yeah. You got to believe it, though.
Absolutely. Let's transition now. We were talking about speed earlier and how fast some of these NFL guys are. D. William Hayes, who I'm sitting here talking to right now, ran a 4.59 at Pro Day.
Nah, I ain't ran I ran a 4.56.
4.5.
Oh, yeah, put some little bit more.
So Google, that's what Google had. So Google led me astray.
Real, man, 4.56 on laser.
4.56.
Yeah.
What were you weighing then?
286.
Wow. 4.56 at 286 pounds.
Yeah.
How were you able to accomplish that? Well, first of all, let me ask, what was your training like? Did you run 40s often, or was it something you did like a month or two before and you?
Real talk. So after I left here, right, I went down to Naples, Florida, and trained at Nautilus. Their vision wasn't like my vision. I'm working. You remember Mike Hart, the running back at Michigan?
Mike who?
Mike Hart.
Hart.
He was the number 1 running back in the nation.
I'm a little young, so I heard his name, but I don't know much about
him. Adams.
Yeah, okay.
Number 1 safety in the nation. Latroy Gideon, the number 1 D tackle in the nation. All these dudes I'm there was number 1, number 2 in the nation at their position. William Hayes, nobody. And then I was up here and I was working with him, and I said, man, like, y'all intensity ain't matching mine. Like, y'all in your mind, y'all know y'all first rounders. Man, I gotta come back home and humble myself. I went and lived with my mom and dad. You know, Will Bradley, this guy named Will Bradley. Man, that man worked from every single day, and I'm no cap. Every day from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Speed and training. After that, I went home and I would go to sleep. I got a homeboy named Epic Kinkleton. Man, that man woke up every single morning at 12 o'clock, and me and him worked out from 12 to 5 o'clock in the morning. And I did that every single day for 3 months straight. Every single day.
Wow.
I was so trained, man. During the summertime, dog, I was driving with the heat on. Like, I was working myself to exhaustion.
Right.
By the time I got there, man, I should have done, they got me at 225. They made me do it, I did 28 times. I was doing 225, 35, 36 times. And the only reason I, because they didn't count my, like, first 5 because they said I was going too fast. Like, I was locked in.
Yeah. So you had done all the preparation.
Man, listen, y'all, listen. Out of all those guys, guess who got drafted the highest?
You.
Me.
Yeah. It's something about the chip on your shoulder, and it seemed like you said, they probably felt like, you know, it's so many athletes that I've felt like should have been way better, should have had way longer careers and even more successful careers. But you can almost tell when a person is really leaning on God-given ability rather than work and dedication.
I don't know if it was that. It was some people comfortable and other people ain't comfortable.
Yeah.
My uncomfortability was if I don't make this, if I don't make the best of this opportunity, what am I going to do then? I'm going to go back home, and my mom's still working at K&W cafeteria.
Yeah.
My dad is sick on disability. what then? What am I going to do?
Once in a lifetime.
Who I'm going to call on if I'm in struggles? Like, why can't I be the one to break that generational curse? So that's what happened. Like, no, I ain't got time to be like, listen, I go stay with my mom and dad. I'm up here driving around a Hummer, living on the beach. And my folks up here staying, in their house, struggling. Like, that shit didn't feel natural. It felt like I already made it.
Right.
And I knew I was going to have to pay it back. So let's say if I don't get drafted, then what? I came out went some state. Those boys, Florida State, Michigan. Like then what?
Yeah.
Nah, they had their reason for why they wanted to carry themselves. I had my reason. I ain't never asked you, hey, why you working the way you working? I didn't give a damn. I ain't care about nobody else's success but mine. Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. That's how that thing worked.
I feel that for sure. So you're drafted by the Titans in 4th round. This is the moment that people work for their whole lives. Like you said. So how does that moment feel? Do you remember exactly what you felt when you got drafted and you knew that you were on the road to being able to do just what you wanted to do, which was take care of your mom, take care of your dad, and even look out for family?
The first thing I thought is, I'm rich now. I mean, just oh my gosh, like my family is I'm about to change the whole dynamics of my family life. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Oh shit, my mom ain't gonna have to struggle as hard no more. I'm gonna give her everything she ever dreamed of. I'm gonna give my dad everything he ever wanted. I'm gonna make sure my brother and sister so solid that they're gonna be able to stand there on their own 2 feet and they're gonna be able to build something for themselves. That's the only thing that matters. Were those people who I grew up with, and we went through that same struggle together. Like I'm changing the dynamics of all our lives. That's it. And then I got family members. Hey, y'all know y'all got y'all. If y'all ever need me, I got y'all. But those people I grew up in that house with, who knew what only us went through, yeah. That was up, man. Listen, y'all straight. Y'all good for life.
So you're talking about looking out for people, family members. Even sounds like
man,
some
they ain't even looking out. That's just like when I was when I was in playing football. Man, I ain't go hungry. My sister worked at Lowe's food, man. My sister would take parts of her paycheck and just make sure I had food, just to make sure I was able to eat during the week because she believed in my vision.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my sister was doing that. My sister was in high school. Hey, boy, I got you. She made $200-something. She just give me $70 in groceries. Man, I'm indebted to you for that.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? I know my sister loved me because I seen the sacrifice she made just for me. The sacrifice my mom made for me. Man, listen. That's all I needed. Y'all put me in here, I'm about to be the baddest motherfucker that ever walked through this leagues. Straight up in my mind. It ain't a locker room I ain't never been in, and I went alpha. Straight dog.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like I ain't even trying to man, I changed the rules up when I got to the league. That Ricky Dennis shit they was doing, man, listen, I ain't going for it.
Yeah.
As a rookie, I ain't going, man, y'all making people spend $200,000 on some damn food. All right. You know the first happened my rookie dinner? You know what happened? They going at, I know I'm thinking about my family, right? Man tell me, hey, you're going to spend $50 just on me by yourself. I said, man, you got me fucked up. And you know who that's Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who Big Albert is. That's
Albert
a man.
Yeah.
Javon Curse.
Yeah.
All those boys in my locker room. Hey, boy, we're going to get you. All right, we'll see about that. Ricky Denner come, guess what? Call my phone. Hey, where you at, man? Man, I'm on my couch. Man, I'm about to go to sleep. So one of y'all going to take care of that. Hey, boy, I told you. I had the cheapest rookie dinner in NFL history, $500. One drink and an entree. That's all you getting from me.
Where was that at?
Tennessee.
Oh, what restaurant, if you remember?
I don't know what restaurant they was at. I forgot where we went to.
Oh, okay.
The one we went to, I know it wasn't one of those high-end restaurants.
Right.
Me and another man spent $500 a piece. Me and Jason Jones. Man, y'all not doing me like that.
Right.
You trying to tell me you want me to spend $100,000 and my people, man, listen, they was killing these dudes when I first got in the leagues. These Ricky Dunners. Ignorant with it. Nah, that ain't me. And I stood on it.
You got to value the dollar, man. You can't let nobody teach you how to spend your own money.
And now you can't get bullied.
Right.
You can't get bullied. Like, you can't tell me what I'm going to do. Now, it ain't about valuing no dollars. Like, as a man, that don't line up with my vision.
Right.
That ain't part of my vision, me giving you money because you think you can tell, man, listen, nah. Hell no. My vision is I got to make sure these people straight. You taking money from them. Nah, we ain't going for that.
Yeah. So we're moving down the line a little bit. You ended up going to the Rams. Talk a little bit about your time with the Rams. Any memories that stand out? Favorite game there? Anything like that.
Man, dude, my time with the Rams was different. Because Tennessee, it was super, like, family-oriented. When I got to the Rams, it became a brotherhood. Like, I'm just talking about just, like, some of the, like, the closest people that I've ever even encountered outside of, like, my growing up. Chris Long, Robert Quinn, Aaron Donald, Eugene Sims, Lance Crisfield. Like, today, we talk to each other still daily. It was a real-life brotherhood, man. I can't even, like, explain that, man. We had so many things happen within those 4 or 5 years that I was there, man, and it was just the camaraderie we had, man, just like Jeff Fisher, which is still to this day my favorite coach. I love him to death, you know what I'm saying? Being there at the Ham, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, as bad as we were, it's just like the way we fought with each other was just unbelievable. You know, it was special. I don't really necessarily say. I remember I know the game that I went off the most. You know what I mean? I had a hell of a game when I played against Seattle. I had a 3.5 12-tackle game. You know what I mean? But it was just a bunch of memories. The pranks was just on a whole nother level, man. Because, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I realized I was a bully after I stopped playing football.
Thought about some of the stuff you did.
No. I was pretty ruthless. Like I was ruthless, man. Like, but it was me having fun with my teammates. I just didn't realize what it was. And honestly, I do feel bad about some of the things I did. I do, but it was the pranks was just something vicious. I got one for you.
I was going to ask you which one you could share.
I can share all of them. I don't care. Like, my boy James Laurinaitis. You know James Laurinaitis?
I heard of him.
Linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He's the coach at Ohio State now, right? He had just brought a brand new Audi. Beautiful. So it was training camp. I'm bored as hell. So I'm like, hey, yo, Chris Long, I want to get some packing peanuts. I just want to throw some stuff in. And James is super nice, too. So it was really messed up. So I want to throw some packing peanuts in James' car, and I want to bubble wrap it. So he was like, all right, cool. So we go to UPS, and the lady says, hey, we know y'all don't got nothing to do. Do you want to tour the facility? It was like, hell, we got like 3 hours to chill. So we start going through there, and I end up hearing some crickets. So I'm like, what are those crickets? Who crickets are those? It was like, oh, it's a tackle shop or whatever. So I was like, I look at Chris, and Chris kind of like looked back at me. And he goes, he's like kind of shaking his head like, nah. I was like, well, can you see if we could get a couple of boxes of those and possibly we'll get some football tickets? So she called the guys, absolutely, you know. So we get the crickets too. So when I opened up the box and to go throw them in James' car, I didn't realize it was 2,000. It was like close to maybe like 10,000 a box. So we legit like threw like 20,000 crickets in this car with the packing peanuts, and we put it inside the bubble. So the reason I felt bad was because the crickets went up into the ventilation system and died. So he tried to go get the car cleaned out, but his car smelled like death. Like, and he had to end up getting rid of the car.
Yeah, so that was a prank that didn't just become a prank that he could just move on from quickly. He had to end up getting a whole nother car. And some people are really connected to cars. So
yeah, but see, so it was crazy. So I went and I told the media guy, like, hey, listen, you see why I get you if you go try to show him the tapes.
Right.
So he went to the NFL office to get the tapes. That's the only reason I got caught. But I still denied it to this day.
Right. You talked about Aaron Donald, Chris Long.
Ooh, that's a bad boy.
Aaron Donald, man.
Oh, that's a man.
He's one of my favorites. Did you see Aaron Donald becoming what he became?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because the attention to detail, like I've never, like as a rookie coming in, I seen him and Minka Fitzpatrick was kind of the same way, but Aaron Donald was 10 times more than anything I've ever seen. He's the greatest football player that I've ever seen, and I would say in NFL history. And I know people like look at me up crazy all the time when I say that. I think he's arguably the greatest defender ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even think it's close. I've seen this dude. I mean, you're talking about just strength. I've never seen him struggle with a weight. And I was a strong brother. Like I was 550, 560 on the bench. You know what I mean? I used to see him rep with ease. 2 or 3 reps, no lift offs, pause at the bottom. Just for his size, the leverage, man, like the coaches would have to kick him out the building because he was looking at film too long. Like he was a nut for football. A nut. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you, Aaron Donald, a bad boy. I'm going to tell you a story. We had practice one day, 2 stories. So it's rookie year. So he kind of get blocked, and then the guy and Aaron kind of get upset. So this is like doing rookie camp or whatever. So then they go again, and then Aaron had this like rage to him that's like it's like very unsettled. But like once he snapped, he go crazy. He grabbed my boy by the face mask and drug him like 10 yards. And I was just like, oh, you're a stud. But this is an untold story. And I don't even think nobody even know about this story. We was at football practice one day. I seen Aaron Donald, no joke, grab somebody by a jersey and pop the face mask off and the chin strap didn't unbuckle. Think about what I just said. He yanked the face mask off the screws of a helmet, and the chin strap didn't unbuckle.
Wow.
A freak.
Yeah.
People don't understand how, like, freakishly strong he is. Like, I've never seen him. I'm talking about 500 pounds look like he's doing 225, 185 pounds. I've never seen him struggle with a weight. Never. He made 500, 550 look like 225. Yeah. I've never seen him struggle.
Aaron was special, man. He was special.
I mean, you be at practice, coach would be like, we don't do that. Then when Aaron gets there, it's like, that's the new thing we're going to start doing. Was like, Coach, damn, you say that goes against it. Well, he's really good at it. We're going to try to learn. Like, he was just a freak. You could tell him to do something, and the dude can catch. Oh, my gosh, got hands like a receiver. This dude is a freak. I'm not joking with you. Like, anything you can think of on a football field, he can do. He's just a midget.
Yeah, a little on the short side, but it didn't stop him for his position. Let's transition. So we were talking earlier about how important business is to you. What's some of the things that you are involved with business-wise right now that you can share?
So right now, me and my wife own a business called Q's Corner, and it's an inclusive play gym for people with special needs. So we got sensory rooms, we got motion equipment, we got imaginary play, we got handicap accessible swings. And right now, that's where, but we also do different activities with our special needs community. So now they're doing karate class. We got a life skills class. And to the point now, we know how special this what it does for the special needs community, to where we're even starting to have free play, to where, like, between certain hours, you could come in and our nonprofit is going to actually fund the gym so people could come in and play for free. So it's just right now, our mission is for the homeless. For the special needs community, and because my oldest boy has special needs, so we see the issues that you have if you want to go to the trampoline park, and my son goes sit on the trampoline park, he can't comprehend. You can't sit on the trampoline, so now he's getting yelled at, and it's just a place of comfort, a place of where families can come and lay their head back because we know what they got going on. So it's like, listen, it's okay if they do this because we understand.
Absolutely. That's great. It's great. Being able to give back to the community, and give everybody a place, like you said, and that's important. As a father, for those parents to have that peace.
Yeah, because people don't understand it.
Yeah,
people don't understand it. Like I didn't understand when my son when he was diagnosed with autism, and I couldn't understand it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got one of my closest friends named Adrian. I love him to death. Like, you know what I'm saying? This dude, I've been best friends with this dude since 6th grade. Me and this man still talk daily. You hear what I'm saying? He has special needs. That's the only person that I could ever even that I ever even connected with. So I didn't understand it. I didn't. Right. So when you have a child with it, then you can those parents who come there, they understand the purpose behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's dope. Anything else business-wise that you can share?
Nothing, man. I just like to spend my day. I got a farm we're working on now. So we're going to start having the kids come out there and get some essential loving from the animals and man, I do a lot of stuff within the community, man. That's where I'm built with. I work with organizations that's like the Peacemakers, who's really big with stopping the killing, and you got Not on the Curb, who goes to school and advocates for the kids. I'm just that's my mission, man. Is just go back and try to do what I can do, fit in. Do a lot of feeding the homeless in the communities, back to school drives. That's where I'm at with it, man.
Absolutely. Dope.
Doing God's work.
Yeah. That's all. That should be the goal. So we got a lot of Rams that follow me that I rock with and support.
Okay.
What would be your advice for football players that play at Winston State who have those NFL aspirations?
You can't chase the cat, man. I know it's bad me saying that. That's just being honest with you. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. You got a school, football, and then that little extracurricular activity, it's got to be taken up to enhance your football, and then whatever you do on the side is what you do.
Right.
But you got to keep the main thing, man. You got to come here and you got to have that vision. You got to stay locked in. If the coach say we got workouts on these days, and those the only workouts you doing, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. I can tell you that right now. Because the way the NFL look at HBCU, it ain't no different than a semi-pro team. They don't respect it. So you got to make them respect you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to make them respect you. You got to stand out. It ain't about my stats. So you done had plenty of guys come here who had great stats. It's about standing out. And that comes from putting in that work. If you don't put in work, man, listen, I'll tell you right now, you ain't going nowhere. As hard as it sounds, you ain't going nowhere. You might as well go ahead and start looking for it, going to try to find an air mark or drive trucks or something like that. If that's your goal, and you ain't taking school serious, I'm telling you, you can't have two lives.
Yeah. You
can't look forward to homecoming and say, oh, man, we're going to turn up homecoming night. Nah, I got to get looking forward to next week. I got to evaluate myself of how I did this week, what I got to do to improve myself. Man, listen, I was so trained, man, like you think I'm joking with you. I went from class to the weight room to the pool to football practice, back to the weight room every single day when I was here. I was leaving this joke at 8 or 9 o'clock every single night. You ain't never seen me on those sitting up on the yard. I ain't never utilized that yard. I didn't eat in the cafeteria. I made my own food. I was locked in, man. Like I was locked in. You got to be locked in. And that's the person here who want to just come here and get a degree to be a nurse. That's the person who want to come here and is here for media. That's anything. You got to be locked in.
Yeah.
There's like if you hear you trying to podcast, you should work on this mic 24/7. You should just always trying to perfect your skills. That's how you make it. That's how you make it, dog. That's the key. If you want to come here and you want to play football, man, the football is the only thing that matters. And I gotta have good grades so I can play football.
Right.
That's the only reason my grades is like listen, it ain't gonna be because my grades I ain't making it to the leagues. That's the last thing it's gonna be. Because I seen my grades couldn't even get me here out of high school. So that won't be it. It ain't going to be because I'm too weak. When I first got here, you know how we squatted? We ain't had that. We ain't had no field house. We ain't had that weight room down there. We had the dungeon. Ask those boys that came through here in 2005, passed in, what the dungeon was. You squatted off a dip bar. You ain't had no squat bar. You squat off the dip bar, dog. And I made that dungeon. I was a monster in that dungeon.
Yeah.
I lived in the dungeon. I'm telling you, that dungeon wasn't too much bigger than this room right here. Ask those boys, ask the people who came through here. That wasn't a reason not to make it, though. They ain't a reason not to make it.
Can't make excuses no matter what your situation is.
Man, listen, excuses are for the weak.
Yeah. We got about 5 minutes before we got to wrap this up. It was great. We definitely going to try to do it again. But I can't let you get out of here without talking the Super Bowl. I know you said you don't watch the NFL any longer.
Right.
But who do you have winning? Do you have a hunch on who you think is going to win or no?
So, gosh, man, I would like to see probably Philly win. But, man, like – I see Mahomes still being the underdog for some reason, man.
Well, they're favorite.
I don't see how they favorite.
It's just a been there, done that.
It's been there, done that, but they don't have a better football team. They don't. You go from the receiving core.
No, overall, no.
There's nothing on that other than Chris Jones, but then you can say Jalen, the D tackle for Philly.
Carter.
Chuck Carter. You can say they S each other out.
Well, Mahomes is obviously better than Hurts. Mahomes is better than Hurts. We know that.
Right. But let's stop by saying that, though. Because Jalen Hurts is a great system quarterback.
Yeah.
A great system quarterback. The only difference is Mahomes has to throw the ball. He has a tank behind him running the ball.
Yeah.
And he has an amazing offensive line. But don't get it twisted. If he didn't have a good running back, that man be able to throw for 350, 400 yards a game, too. No, it's like that man can sling the ball. He just don't have to. He arguably have the greatest, to me personally. Lane Johnson is the best right tackle to ever play the game football. I played against that man. I played against other greats before. That man can play left tackle just as good. He can go play left tackle and be probably one of the best left tackles over there. He has probably arguably one of the greatest right tackles that ever played game football. And those other four guys are probably top 5 at each of one of those positions, other than maybe a guard. They have the way better offensive line.
Yeah.
So you don't have to throw the ball. You can run. Playoff football is running the ball. If you can run that ball down and you can start getting those D linemen tired, a pass rush ain't a thing. Now you can sling the ball. Kansas City has a good secondary, though. You know what I'm saying? They have a really good secondary. And
they have a good running back as well in Pacheco, but I don't think he's healthy right now.
Man, Pacheco is a good running back.
I don't think he's healthy, though.
But you can't compare those running backs.
No, he's not Saquon. No, nobody is. Saquon is the best running back in the league right now for me.
Saquon,
because overall,
if Saquon went with the Giants and he was with Philly, we would be talking about Saquon being one of the greatest running backs ever. I mean, no disrespect to Daniel Jones, but
yeah,
whatever.
And the line difference too, like you said.
Their
line is
elite. He was doing good with like a beneath average offensive line,
right,
in New York. So you see what he could do when you give him some people up there. He looked like he did when he was in college. You know, so like you don't have to throw the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would rather as an offensive coordinator hand that ball off and then you just pick up some little small third downs if you have to.
Yeah.
Nah, that dude's a football player. You're just not asking him to do it. But he's not Mahomes. I think Mahomes is the greatest quarterback ever, other than Tom. But if you're just talking about just straight arm talent, pure quarterback, I would take him over Tom.
Rodgers was up there as well, but
Rodgers,
he didn't win.
Rodgers threw the best ball.
Yeah.
But
I've become less and less of a fan of Rodgers, though, as the years have waned. Such
that's
a diva,
unfortunate, man.
Yeah, such a diva. Like with how he handling his off season.
Let me. I got a story for you about Rodgers.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up with this, ladies and gentlemen.
And I respect Aaron Rodgers for this. Somebody had called me and was like, "Man, my family member is dying of like terminally ill cancer," and she's a huge Green Bay fan. I reached out to my agent, was able to get Aaron Rodgers' number. I called Aaron Rodgers on the phone. Hey, Aaron, I need you to really do this solid for me, man. Not only did he FaceTime and call the girl, he flew out to Cali and went to go see him too.
Okay.
So you could call him a diva, but it's like it's those stories that people don't know about of how solid guys really are.
Yeah.
You know, he might just be a private person. I don't know. You know, but you can't discount what he do with that ball when he gets spinning that ball.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's been a great interview. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing this, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Timeout Sports 3, Facebook, Timeout Sports Podcast. Stay tapped in with us. We're definitely going to try to get William back in and do something else. It's been a great show. I appreciate you for coming on the show, William Hayes, WSSU legend and NFL vet. Did it at the highest level, and that's all you can ask for. Is there anything you would like to tell the listeners as you wrap this up?
Man, just keep God first, man, and just stay locked in on your vision, man. Don't let nobody take you off your pivot. Just stay locked in, man, and with God, man, all things is possible, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate it again.
Yes, sir.